Well, I got a phone call about the electrical situation here. The energy company is saying that that transformer is big enough, but they need to put in a bigger, heavier wire, and they want me to put in a new pole. That is my personal property there, my part of the real estate, and they say it's not good enough. So I don't know how long that's going to take or how long it's going to cost, but it's got to be done. Ooh, there's two pretty horses over in that field over there. Yeah, nice looking Palomino. That bay is pretty good looking too. Anyhow, yesterday I did some land work on this, some dirt work. I graded it with a drag that was really just one of those hitches that they pulled the house in with. Now, they told me those are my property, but they took the axles in the wheels back. Well, I know about that anyhow because I worked in a mobile home factory back in the 70s, early 80s, and I had to unload a whole lot of axles and wheels that were coming back, and we used them over and over again. Anyway, there's a story about them getting stolen and me meeting the guy that stole it later on, years later, and well, I don't want to go into that story, but we had a big laugh about that. Anyhow, there's the one I didn't use to do that landscaping work. And I wasn't happy with it because you see that jack and on the front hitch digs in. And it'd be great if I wanted it to do that, but I don't. I'm just trying to make it look smooth. I'm not trying to do any, what do you call them? What do they call those? Gosh, how come I can't remember things anymore? Stuff that I used to know seems to escape me now. I hope I ain't getting too old that I will forget my own name. Anyhow, that's the one I use right there. You can see the chain I drug it with. I drug it behind my truck. And I figure I tried to put a piece of fencing underneath it here, but that didn't work. It just came off, so I just kept dragging it. And this groove, if I'd had that there, wouldn't have, from the jack, that groove wouldn't be there because the fencing would have smoothed everything out. But what I'm going to do is two bolts and a rivet that basically hold this in place. So I'm going to take the two bolts out. I don't have a torch. If I had a torch and a welder, I'd cut beams out of that other one, put a beam across the back and one on top for extra weight. Put rocks on it and stuff. But anyhow, I'm going to take this here jack off. Like I said, I don't have a torch or a welder. So basically I'm just going to take those bolts off, flip it over, and beat on it with a sledgehammer. And then I'm going to try to figure out how I can get that piece of fencing underneath it. And there's Shaggy. Hey, Shaggy. There's the 3 kittens that are getting big. You're almost cats now. There's Mama. All right. Well, they like to follow me around, but watch what happens if I try to touch them. Oh, only Gray Cat lets me pick her up, and that's only very occasionally. Yeah, and she only does it when the other cats ain't looking. Anyhow, that's what I'm going to do today is work on this thing. Try to get that jack off. Try to figure out a way to attach that fencing. Oh, I'll show you the fencing and where it came off at. Oh, well, it was working pretty good. In fact, if we get over here, could have sworn I seen something. Well, so far the only money I found around here is 2 pennies, and one was so corroded that I had to throw it away. Anyhow, you can see how smooth it was with that fencing attached. It just smoothed that groove right out. But the guys that poured the mud for the foundation with that tool, and they've seen it too. I think they just don't want it. Well, I ain't got no use for it. Who knows? I don't tend to do any concrete work. Anyhow, see that mound? I don't know if you can see the mound. It came off there, and I put it back on, went around again, and when I hit that log it was from that tree that used to be right out there in front of the house that I cut down when I first got here. I cut all the limbs off of it anyhow. But I left the stump sticking up, and the construction boss took that out with his tractor for me. I hit that, and it popped off again, and got all kind of bent up. So I basically got to figure out how to put that back on so I can make a smoother drag. Okay, well, I guess that's all I'm going to show you right now. So I'm going to turn this thing off. Bye.